Hello, everyone, and welcome to Own Being Unique TV. I'm your host, Myrhanda McDaniels, and today we have the special honor and privilege of speaking with the creator of My Doctor Looks Like Me, Dr. Emily Wolcott. Dr. Emily, thank you so much for being here today. How are you?
I am great. Thank you so much for having me.
You're most welcome. Renowned with versatility as a crown-worthy woman of color, with the exceeding scholarship as an orthopedic surgeon, expert independent medical examiner, international speaker, and best-selling author, and a background as extensive as yours, Dr. Emily, please tell us a little bit about yourself and what motivated you to create the My Doctor Looks Like Me series.
Okay. Like you said, I am a board-certified orthopedic surgeon and independent medical examiner. And what an independent medical examiner is a medical legal expert.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also a 3 times best-selling author, mentor, and international speaker. Over the years, I've trained my physician colleagues that are disillusioned with their practices, experiencing burnout, to become medical experts so that they have that flexibility to achieve their work-life balance and thus decrease their burnout.
Yeah.
And I've done this through one-on-one coaching, through my best-selling books, and through an online academy that I have called the IME Academy.
Mm-hmm.
But I've also mentored along the way. It hasn't been lost on me that I'm a unicorn. I am only one of 6 African American female joint specialists in the United States. And I am probably number 2 or 3 because I've been practicing now for about 25 years.
Mm-hmm.
So I've always felt that it was my duty to pay it forward. And I've always had students come into my practice on all levels. I've had students sit at the front desk so they could learn about administrative skills and clerical skills. I have had students rotate with me in the back office where they learn clinical skills, like high school students were learning how to do blood pressures and weights and vital signs.
Nice.
Then I've had nursing students rotate with me so they learn that aspect applied in a clinical setting. I've had medical students, and I've also had doctors in training come and rotate because my practice was certified as such. So it was always important to me to pay it forward, to open the door, so to speak, to allow access into a field that's restrictive to people of color. So, so that has been going on for years, and the idea for My Doctor Looks Like Me has always been in the back of my head because I grew up in Waterbury, Connecticut, and there were no African American physicians there when I was growing up.
Wow.
Because the fact is, Black physicians make up less than 5% of all doctors in the United States. So it's not likely that every Black or brown child is going to see a doctor that looks like him or her. So, yes, so, and I remember as I was going through school, I've always been a nerd.
Yeah.
You know, my parents used to always say, you would do well as a doctor, because my mom tells me that my first year of life, I was in and out of the hospital. So I've always had this affinity. You know, I wanted to wear a white coat. I wanted to watch medical shows.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so you would tell me I would do well, but then when I would tell my friends, they would say, "Oh, girl, you're crazy. You know, nobody from our neighborhood is a doctor. You know, that you're shooting for too high a goal." And even my high school history teacher, you know, told me that I would do well one day as an administrative assistant if I'm lucky, if I kept up my good grades.
Yeah.
So this was what I was told in high school by an authoritative figure.
Yeah.
So, so I decided to write this book to reach those kids, and that's my hope, to reach kids that do not necessarily have the exposure to a doctor or any other professional that looks like them, to let them know that it is possible, whether you see it or not. You know, that there are doctors that look like you out there.
That's absolutely wonderful. I mean, it's amazing to be able to tap into, you know, this imagery of the fact of what you just said, that there's somebody out there that looks just like me, and not just somebody, but a special person, a doctor.
Yes.
So for young children to see that through this literature,
Yeah.
that is amazing. So Dr. Emily, you kind of answered this question already, but I'm just gonna just throw it out there again.
Okay.
So how does it feel to represent a small percentage of all doctors, yet having such a massive impact on young people as a role model? How does that feel?
It's incredible. It's an incredible feeling, and when you realize that's what your position entails, you know, you have to make a difference. You can't just let that be wasted. It's an opportunity that few people have. You know, like I said, I'm 1 in 6.
Yeah.
So that's a very restricted opportunity, and I want to do the most that I can with it.
Yeah.
You know, so by mentoring the young students, most of the kids that I mentored in the past were high school age and up. So I then had this idea to start reaching kids at a younger age. And that's why I wrote the children's book, because at the age of 2 or 3 with their parents reading to them, and then, you know, they really like the story. I've had several mothers reach out to me and send me pictures of their babies that are, you know, between 1.5 and 3, saying they keep pointing to the book and that's what they want to hear at night. So, you know, that just makes me, you know, so gratified, you know, that my dream or my purpose is being fulfilled.
Yeah. I think that's amazing. And not only is it amazing, to me, that means that you have that much more of a responsibility, knowing that there's not that many, you know, of the wonderful doctors out there that are just like you.
Yes.
That puts that much more of a responsibility on you to make sure that not only are you fulfilling that purpose, but that your purpose is effective and that you're pouring it out in a manner in which these young learners can receive it. So
yes.
That is amazing. So tying into, you know, those young learners, how important is it that children visually see an example like you, not only in person, but in imagination as well?
Oh, it is a proven fact that when a kid identifies with an authoritative figure that looks like them, it does wonders to the psyche of that child.
Wow.
So it is my hope that there will be something in the storyline that a child will identify with and then want to aspire for more. That's my fervent hope.
I just because like I have a background with working with young learners too, and being that teacher in the classroom that's sitting down with them and reading these stories, I could see your books in these classrooms. I can see these teachers reading these stories and seeing the excitement that these young learners have within them to know that they're reading about something that they can potentially grow up to be.
Yes.
Like that's what I'm waiting for. Like I'm excited in advance for these opportunities. And I know that in many places it already exists. I'm just ready for it to exist in a massive way.
Yes, definitely. Definitely.
So in connection with all of what you have already laid out to us, what encouraging words could you give a young Black or brown child that is looking for greater?
I would tell them that you just have to be the best that you can be. Every child is different.
Absolutely.
Every aspiration is different, and we should not place ceilings on top of their heads. And just tell them to go for what they like and just be the best that they can be. And that's the best advice I can give anybody.
Awesome. Now, what type of impact? I mean, we kind of talked about this a little bit. You can dive a little bit deeper. But what type of impact do you desire to leave in the lives of those who read your books?
I want to instill a sense of confidence in the children that they can be whatever they want to be. And the title, My Doctor Looks Like Me, is only the first in the series. We already have other titles lined up, like My Lawyer Looks Like Me, My Teacher Looks Like Me, My Author Looks Like Me. But I'm just waiting for this to take off because we're at the very early stages. Take off and we can start producing the other titles. I had one child whose mother reached out to me to tell me that she wants me to write my meteorologist looks like me.
Oh,
Yes.
that'll be nice.
Yeah.
And you know what? And I can tap into that again, like working in the preschool environment. A lot of kids love to imitate. You know, a lot of their
Yeah.
learning is based in play. You know,
Yeah.
play-based learning.
Yes.
And so I had experiences where my young learners would love to do the calendar. They love to do the weather. So creating a book where that is present,
Yes.
that is another additive factor that would be such a huge blessing in these classrooms, because they can utilize your book during, you know, as a part of their curriculum.
Yes.
During this little circle time that they have.
Yes.
To talk about the weather. So
Yeah.
that's phenomenal.
That's phenomenal. That's phenomenal.
Now, another question for you. Can you see your books helping to raise the percentage rates of future doctors?
It is my hope that it will. Even if the physicians, even in the medical field,
Mm-hmm.
and then when the other titles come out in any field,
Yeah.
you know, the kids that I have mentored in the past have gone on to a variety of professions. It wasn't just medicine. They started off in my office and learned the essentials
Mm-hmm.
of how to be disciplined and how to act in a professional setting,
Yeah.
but they were not all interested in medicine. That was okay. And that's one thing I tell the kids. It's okay. Whatever you want to do, just be the best at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So, Dr. Emily, you touched on this topic, and I just want you to dive a little bit deeper into this question, because you already talked about what's coming next in your brand. So we know that there's another part to the series that you're offering. But here's a little spin. What supports do you have to help benefit the parents of the young learners that you have with the series?
Yes. We have formed a book club,
Mm-hmm.
and that information is on our website.
Okay.
And the kids can come into the club where they can actually interact with us. When I say us, myself and other physicians of
Mm-hmm.
color, on a weekly or bi-weekly basis, so that we can provide more inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
We can talk to them one-on-one, and they can get really comfortable with the idea that, yes, this is really attainable. It's just not in the book, you know, this is really attainable. Another thing that I was talking with my team about starting was reading with the kids on Instagram.
Nice.
And YouTube. You know, we would have monthly contests where purchasers of the book can enter a lottery system.
Yeah.
And then I can go one-on-one online with a child, if the parent permits, and we can talk about anything they want to talk about.
That's amazing. And I think that that's exceptional for our audiences to know, especially because we're living in this time where many of the kids have been forced to be in front of the computer.
Yes.
And some parents don't really know what services are out there for them. So
Yes.
the fact that this realm of creativity has been created for them to be able to tap into your brand and give and offer that support to these parents and these families, I think is, again, exceptional. So I applaud you for taking a step. I applaud you for taking a leap of faith, because if you did not take these steps, if you did not follow your gut when you were younger, being in the hospital and seeing everything happening in these white coats, if you did not walk into that, you probably wouldn't be where you are right now. And understanding and knowing that, then there's also some people that would not have had the opportunity to hear your story because it wouldn't have been shared.
That's true.
So we are so grateful that you were able to come and share your story. We're so excited for what's coming next, because we know that this is just the beginning, and there's so much more.
This is just the beginning.
Yes, and before we let you go, because we understand that you have a busy schedule as a doctor, and we're so grateful that and humbled that you chose to be here with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Before we let you go, let our audiences know where they can go to purchase your books or to hear about your program. All of that information. Let them know.
Okay. Yes, you can come to our website, which is www.mydoctorlookslikeme.com. And it's spelled out as one word, mydoctorlookslikeme.com. We're also on social media. Our tag is @LooksLikeMeBooks. And we're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you, Dr. Emily, for being here with us. Again, I'm excited for everything that
you.
is manifesting with your brand
Thank
and within
you.
and within you and in your life in general.
Thank you.
So thank you. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to Own Being Unique TV, where we have the opportunity of highlighting exceptional individuals who take ownership of who they are by operating in their uniqueness. Until next time, we'll see you later. Peace.